Hello everyone, welcome again to our YouTube channel Engineers World. Hope you must all be safe in your homes. So today is the seventh lecture of surveying, and the topic that we were studying is linear measurements. So in the last lecture we studied about chains, various types of chains, and various corrections in chains. Correction due to standardization as well as correction due to slope. We also did some numericals based on correction of standardization. So today we will start with the numericals on correction due to slope. So starting with the first question, the question says, it says the distance between 2 points measured along the slope is 500 meter. The distance between 2 points measured along the slope is 518 meter. Now he's asking, find the horizontal distance between them. If the first part says the slope angle is 6 degree, and B part he's asking the slope is 1 in 5. 1 in 5. So we'll try to solve the question. See, in first part he has given directly the slope angle. So for first part we can directly use the formula as I told you in the previous lecture, D equal to L cos theta. See here, L we have been given as 518 meter and theta is given as 6 degree. So substituting these values we will get 518 into cos of 6 degree. So on solving these values we will get 515.2 meters as answer. Now in first part the question was the angle was directly given to you, but in second part he has given the slope of 1 in 5. That is, slope is equal to 1 in 5 or 1 by 5, and we also know that slope is given by tan theta. That means the value of tan theta is 1 by 5. From here we can calculate theta. Theta will be tan inverse 1 by 5 and its value comes out to be 11.31 degrees. So again using the same formula, D is equal to L cos theta. So here theta we have calculated 11.31 degrees. L is again the same, 518 meter. So on substituting these values we will get 518 into cos of 11.31 degrees. So on solving we will get 507.9 meter. So in this way we can solve the questions related to slope correction. We also have another type of numerical regarding this. We'll also solve that question, and after that we will move on to the next topic. You all should be revising all the topics side by side because revision is very important while you are preparing for an exam. So the next question says, if the ground rises by 5 meter in a chain length of 20 meter. So he has given the chain length of 20 meter. He's saying determine the slope correction. Determine the slope correction. And he's again asking compare the result with that obtained by approximate formula. With that obtained by approximate formula. Approximate formula. Now see how we'll solve this question. See, he is given as in a chain length of 20 meter, ground rises by 5 meter. So here we will use the formula of slope correction as Cg is equal to L square minus h square under root minus L, where capital L is 20 meter, that is chain length. So 20 square minus h will be the rise, 5 square, and again minus 20. So on solving these values, we will get minus 0.64 meter. So this will be the slope correction, and you see it's negative. He has also asked that compare the result with that obtained by approximate formula. Now, what is the approximate formula? Approximate formula is Cg equal to minus h square by 2L minus h4 by 8 L cube. So we will substitute all the values and we'll get the answer as minus 0.625 minus 0.01. So which will be 0.635 meter negative. So we can say it to be equal to minus 0.64 meter. So we can see that from both the formulas the correction comes to be same. So this was all about the numerical on slope correction. Now we are moving to the next topic. It's very interesting, and our topic is instruments for chaining. What are the various instruments which are used for chaining? Instruments for chaining. This is a very important topic because you must know all these instruments because these will help in further lectures. Instruments for chaining. And also taping. We have not studied taping yet, but the instruments used will be same. So the first instrument that comes is arrows. So what are arrows? Arrows are simply the instruments which are used to mark the position of the ends of the chain on the ground. Remember, used to mark the position of the ends of the chain. chain. These are usually made up of good quality hardened and tempered steel of 4 mm dia. See, I'll draw a diagram of this arrow. It's just like this. Make a break here, and it is pointed at the bottom. The length of the peg is 400 mm. This portion is called the eye. Its dia is around 50 mm. This dia I already told you 4 mm. And this tip is slightly rounded. So this is all about arrows. Now moving on to the next instrument. See, there is also a special type of arrow called as drop arrow. Why is it special? Because it has a heavy ball. It has a ball of heavy metal fitted near the pointed end here. In case of drop arrow, it has a ball of heavy metal fitted near the end. So when it is dropped from a height, it sticks on the ground vertically. So that's why it is called a drop arrow. It may also be used as a plumb bow. Now coming to the next instrument. Our next instrument is pegs. So what are pegs? See, wooden pegs are used to mark the positions of survey stations or the end points of survey line. They are used to mark the positions of the survey stations. Or the endpoints of a survey line. So I'll make a diagram of it so that you can easily understand. So this is a peg. See, these are usually square in section. If we see the top view will be square cross section. The size is usually 25 by 25 in cross section, 25 mm by 25 mm in cross section, and their length is 150 mm. But for soft grounds, the pegs have larger cross section of 40 mm. And the length is also increased as 400 mm for softer grounds. But usually the length is 150 mm and the cross section is 25 mm by 25 mm. So this is all about pegs. Now coming to the third instrument. It is one of the important instruments for as far as surveying is concerned, and it is ranging rods. Before studying ranging rods, we must first know what is ranging. So what is ranging? The process of locating a number of points on a long survey line is called ranging. What is ranging? The process of locating a number of points on a long survey line is called ranging. Now, ranging rods, what are these? These are used to locate intermediate points such that these points lie on the straight line joining the end stations. So, ranging is essential, very essential, before starting the measurement of a line whose length is more than a chain length, so that the measurement is made along a straight line. So, ranging rods are usually made up of seasoned woods. See, I'll make a ranging rod. These are usually made up of well seasoned woods. You generally teak, blue spine. This cross section is circular. There is circular cross section, and the dia is 30 mm nominal. The main thing is, usually they are circular in cross section, but sometimes octagonal cross section is also used. See, there are two types of ranging rods based upon their length. First one is 2 meter in length, and second one is 3 meter long. See, if it is a 2 meter length, then there are bands of 200 mm each, and which are 10 bands. So 10 bands of 200 mm length. For example, these are the bands. This is 200 mm. Again, here is the band. The bands are painted alternative black and white. Now another one is 3 meter long. If I make a 3 meter long peg, the shape will be same, but just the length will be more. It will also have bands. But here the length will be 300 meter, and this length of one band will be again 200, but there will be total 15 bands. So usually the bands are painted alternatively black and white or red and white, so that the rod is visible even from a long distance. See, when the distance is very large, the flag of red and white color, 250 to 500 mm square, is tied to the top of rod, so that the rod can be easily sighted. So this was all about arranging a rod. Now the next is arranging poles. Arranging poles. Now, what is the difference between ranging rod and ranging poles? If we want to range very long lines, the ranging poles are used. They are similar to ranging rods, but they are of heavier section and are of greater length. The diameter of ranging poles, in case of ranging poles, the dia varies from 60 to 100 mm, and the length is 4 to 8 meter. Remember, ranging poles are used when we are ranging very long lines. Generally, they don't have pointed ends, but a large flag is always attached at the top. So in this case, a flag may be attached at the top so that it can be easily visible from greater distance. So this is all about ranging poles. Now, so this was all about arranging poles. So the next instrument is offset rod. So before starting with offset rod, we must know what are offsets. What are offsets? Offsets are nothing but the lateral distance. These are the lateral distances measured from a survey line by an instrument. For example, this is a survey line AB. We have to make this lateral measurement. So offsets are the lateral distances taken from a survey line with an instrument. Let it be an instrument I. So from this instrument we have taken a lateral distance from this survey line AB. So this is offset. So this lateral measurement is called as offset. Now you got what offset is. Now moving on to offset rod. So what is an offset rod? Offset rod, as the name suggests, is used for setting out offset lines at right angles to the survey line. See, offsets may be oblique or right angle, but offset rod is used for setting out offset lines at right angles to the survey line and for measuring small offsets. See, these offset rods are similar to the ranging rods, but they have small differences. I'll make them. First of all, it has two short slots passing through the center of the section of rod. See, if let this be the center of section of rod, so these are the slots. This is first difference between a ranging rod and offset rod. These slots are made at right angles to each other at about the eye level of the person. For example, this is a person. This is the eye level of a person. So at the eye level, these slots are made. The length of the offset rod is usually 3 meters. Length is 3 meters. It has a pointed iron shoe at one end like ranging rod. That is a similarity. At the other end of rod, there is a hook or a notch. And the function of this notch is to pull the chain through hedges or other obstructions. So the offset line is aligned at right angles to the survey line by alternatively looking through the two slots. So these slots help in making the offsets, and two at right angles. The length of the offset line is measured approximately by counting the number of 200 mm bands and making an estimate of the fraction of the band. So this is all about offset rod. Now moving on to the next instrument. Next is plumb bob. You all might have heard about this. So I'll make a diagram. So this is a plumb bob. It is attached with nylon string. So what is the function of plumb bob? It plays a very important role in surveying, as a freely suspended plumb bob always points towards the gravity. It's the main function of plumb bob, that it always points towards the gravity. It indicates the direction of the vertical line. So in linear measurements, plumb bobs are used for measuring distances on sloping ground. Plumb bobs are used to place the tape directly over a point when the tape is suspended above it. These are also used to transfer the point on the tape down to the sloping ground. See, the verticality of a ranging rod is also sometimes tested by suspending a small plumb bob along it. So, now coming to its main use. The main use of plumb bob in surveying is in the centering of various instruments. Centering. We will discuss this term, centering. So remember. So for centering of various instruments, plumb bob is used. Instruments like theodolite, magnetic compass, plane table, and other instruments. So it is usually made up of brass and the shape is pear shape. It has a sharp point at the end and it is attached by a cord of nylon string. The length of cord is normally 2 meters. The weight of the plumb bob usually varies from 2 to 5 Newton. It is its weight. And its length is around 50 mm. 50 mm. So this was all about plumb bob. Now coming to the last instrument. So the last instrument is clinometer. So first of all, we must know what is clinometer. So clinometer is a device for measuring or instrument for measuring the angle of the slope of the ground. It consists of a graduated semicircle resembling a protector. It has a pinhole. See, here we are discussing about simple clinometer. So first of all, we now know what is clinometer. It is an instrument used for measuring the angle of slope of the ground. It consists of a graduated semicircle resembling a protector. It has a spin hole as eye vane. The object vane has crosshairs. A light plumb on a long cord is suspended from the center of the semicircle. So if this is our slope, this is our natural slope, this is ground, and the slope angle we have to calculate. So what we do, we place the instrument here. The instrument resembles just like this. Just like a protector. Here are the graduations. This is 0 degree, then 10 degree, 20 degree, 30 degree, 40 degree, so on. Here also 10 degree, 20 degree, 30 degree. These are slopes. This is the eye here. And this is the line of sight. These are the crosshairs. So, what does it say? A light plumb bob on a long cord is suspended from the center. Suspended from the center, and of the semicircle, a flat base is attached to the semicircle. This is a flat base. It is attached to the semicircle. This is semicircle. To lay the clinometer on the surface whose slope is required. Now, when the surface is level, the plumb bob strikes the zero mark. When the ground surface is sloping, the angle of slope is read at the graduation where the plumb bob touches the graduated semicircle. For example, here it is touching at 10 degree. So our slope comes to be 10 degree. So in this way, we can find the ground slope or angle of slope of the ground by using a clinometer. So this was all about various instruments used for chaining and taping. I think this is enough for today's lecture because these instruments are very important to be remembered in exams like ESC and GATE. In the match of the following questions type, they have directly asked match the following instruments with their functions. So these instruments are very important to be remembered. So that was all for today's lecture. Hope you would have liked the lecture.